Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, welcome as well. This is gonna be a little different from my normal fashion vlogs makeup videos. If you know me, you know I love movies. And I watched 123 movies this year. Logged on my letterbox. I'm pretty sure that's all of them, unless I might have forgotten to log one, which is highly unlikely. But anyway, yes, I thought it would be a really fun video to rank all the movies I watched in 2025 on a tier system. Yeah, talk about them a little. Anyway, let me describe my tiering system. I thought I might separate the movies I watched into 5 categories. So the first category, we have mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies. Self-explanatory, these movies I just thought were just so beautiful, blew my mind, movies that I found really resonated with me and really stuck with me. Next tier category is would watch again, classics, literally loved. I don't really like watching movies a second time. I'm kind of the type of person to be like, okay, if I watch it the first time, do I really need to watch it the second time? But yeah, there are a few movies where I'm like, wow, I just have to watch it a second time to like get a grasp fully of what really happened, or just because I loved it so much, I just need to watch again. And really uncommon, so yeah, that's the second tiering. The third tiering is just movies I really liked, objectively good, great movies. Nothing to say about that, just kind of like your average, like good movies. And then we have Met could have been better. And then last category is not for me, ... which is also just self-explanatory, movies that I just didn't love. But yeah, that's the tiering system. I think this is gonna be a very long sit down talk kind of video, so grab yourself a little beverage. And I just really wanted an excuse to talk about movies for like an hour. So here we are, and I'm just gonna get straight into it. I'm sorry, unicorn, you're just gonna have to go. It's a little hard holding you. Guys, say bye to my unicorn. Let's start off with January. We have Nosferatu, Phantom of the Opera, The Witch, Conclave, and Anora. Nosferatu, I really liked the whole world building of it all. I love myself a good historical movie that sets the mood perfectly. I thought the casting was really great. I was a little worried about Lily Rose Depp, but her acting was actually really good. I was impressed by it. She didn't have iPhone face, and she really fit the vibe of the whole Victorian Britain kind of era. I don't know when this was set, but whenever the bubonic plague was in Britain, I love myself a good vampire movie, and this delivered just that. I gave it a 4.5, and this is gonna have to go into the section of my tiering that is would watch again, classics, literally loved. Storyline, it was just really good. I thought the mise-en-scene at the end was just so beautiful. I loved the ending so much, so because of that, it's gonna go there. Next movie, Phantom of the Opera. The only way I can describe this movie is that it just feels like a hour-long music video in the best way possible. The soundtrack is just amazing. Not surprising, it's a musical, but I really loved Emmy Rossum in this role. Everyone else was kind of meh. The cinematography, I was kind of surprised by it. It was pretty good. I really liked it. It's not the best movie out there, like technicality wise, and I do understand that. And it does feel a little bit slow at times, but the music is just so beautiful. It's so perfect. I think it delivered what it needed to deliver, and for that, I'm gonna have to put it in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies, because it honestly did change my life watching Emma Rossum in this movie, because she's just beautiful, and I think everyone needs to watch this. Next movie, The Witch, my second Robert Eggers movie. Loved Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie. She always does so well in like really eerie gothic roles, I think. I think this movie was just so good at building the suspense, and it's kind of those movies that I like left just like, what the fuck, like what was that movie, in the best way possible. I'm really surprised this is only a 3.8 on letterboxd, but not that surprised because I feel like horror movies don't ever score that well, but it is so disturbing, so eerie, so suspenseful. Mood building was just amazing. The whole set design was just so great. And everyone was like really good. I'm gonna put this in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies because I think this is the first horror movie that really like wowed me to like really disturb someone without using any jump scares. It's just so beautiful to me, and honestly, that's why it's there. Next movie, Conclave. Loved this movie so much. Based on the book Conclave, I went into this with no expectations because honestly, the whole premise of it, I didn't know if I would love it, so I didn't want to like hype it up too much. But honestly, I didn't really hear a lot of like press around this or anything, so I kind of went in blinded. But as you can tell by the title, it's literally about a conclave, and it is just so good at storytelling. And for that, it's going in the top tier. I just found it so interesting that you could take something like kind of very mundane and boring, like it's not very interesting, and just turn it into something so wowing. You know what I mean? I loved everyone's acting in this. I think this is one of the movies that really kept me on the edge of the seat. So moving into February now, we kind of went downhill from January. This isn't my favorite month for movies. Flight Risk, let me just read you my letterboxd review. Okay, genuinely the most whack movies I've ever seen. I couldn't pinpoint what about it that I hated because everything was so terribly put together. Every aspect was horrible. The idea was somewhat there, execution not so much. Script felt like it was made to be in a shitty TV show aired after 10 p.m. On top of that, the character building was almost non-existent. Mark being a sadistic rapist killer was so unnecessary to the plot, but also unironically the most developed character in the entire film was actually kind of funny. What was the point of having Mark be kinky? I didn't understand the necessity for the rape jokes. It didn't add a single thing for the character nor the plot. It mostly just felt like someone's weird erotic fantasy, especially knowing after Mel was directing it. All the characters felt 2D, everyone felt extremely NPC, and the whole movie felt like a huge gameplay walkthrough, played by someone who sucked. The voice actors sounded like they were paid $2 for the roles, it didn't help much. And nothing about the cheesy sub-story made me feel anything for the protagonist. None of the jokes landed, mostly because they were so unnaturally scripted by a man who obviously didn't understand that the jokes wouldn't sit well anytime he tried to insert one in. But I think the most aggravating aspect of the movie was a criminally horrible soundtrack that sounded like someone had searched for 1 hour royalty-free ambience music on YouTube. Final thoughts? Mel should stick to directing historical films. I just hated that movie. Nothing else to say about that. That's going in the bottom tier. Not for me, ... But honestly, even on a lower tier, that movies that just belong in the trash. Sorry. Next movie, I think it's a biopic on Maria Callas, world's greatest opera singer. I didn't know her before this movie. I'm not really in the opera scene like that. I loved it a lot. It really reminded me of Gia, which is about the model Gia, also played by Angelina Jolie. It had the similar vibe to it all. But I loved Angelina Jolie in this role. I thought the cinematography was great. The storytelling was great. It was a little slow for me, and yeah, nothing much really ever happens. It's that kind of movie. And for that, I'm just gonna have to put it in, I think I'm gonna put it in really liked, objectively great movies. Yeah, I wish I liked it more because it was really beautiful, but it was just a little slow for my liking. Next movie I watched is Pride. I liked the whole story behind it. It's based on a group of LGBT activists who are raising money for mine workers. It's based on a true story. It's a real social political issue, and it was a great movie for what it was. Nothing crazy. Like, obviously they weren't trying to win an Oscar with this movie, and I just love the whole story behind it. So it's just a kind of mediocre movie, you know. They got their point across, and because of that, I'm gonna give it really liked objectively great movies. Next movie, The Gorge. Anya Taylor-Joy in this again. I love her. She's just so beautiful. Her acting is just great. I think she was great in this movie. The whole movie premise of itself was just kind of crazy. Like, kind of really like unbelievably crazy on how unrealistic it is. It's a sci-fi romance. I would definitely say more leaning towards a romance side, but the sci-fi stuff is just kind of like, what the hell? Like, it is like sci-fi. Capital Phi, please. But yeah, the whole premise is that these two people from different nations are sent to guard either sides of this gorge, and they don't know what's in the gorge. Obviously, that's where the sci-fi comes in. And it's honestly just a really beautiful love story. And for that, I'm gonna put it in really liked objectively great movies. The plot, there were a few holes in the plot, I must say. But it's just so beautiful how entertainingly romantic it was. So that's why it's going in there. Maybe on the lower tier of that, but yeah, I liked it. March was a good month for movies. Last Showgirl, I Saw the TV Glow, The Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Birdman, 12 Angry Men, Queer, Past Lives, Moonrise Kingdom, But I'm a Cheerleader, Flow, and Old Boy. Let's start with The Last Showgirl by, I think, Sofia Coppola's sister. Didn't know she had a sister, by the way, also in the showbiz. I loved this movie. I loved the whole idea around it and how centered on femininity it was. And I think there could have been so much more plot building, so much more storytelling that could have been done to make the movie so much better. And I wish it was. Gia Coppola has a tendency to put in a lot of random, just aesthetic montages of like people looking out in the sky, kind of flying in the wind. And yes, it's nice, but at times it just kind of comes off as tacky. It just wasn't executed as well as it could have been. There were so many quotable moments that I think would have just been so perfect if the story was more developed. It just needs to be just a little more developed. And I would have like absolutely loved it so much. There was so much potential. So I'm just gonna have to put this in that kind of like the top tier of that could have been better, because it really could have been better. Next movie, one of my personal favorite movies ever. I Saw the TV Glow. I loved the whole aesthetic of it all. Do I think it could have been better? Yes, I do. There are definitely issues with this movie, is what I'm trying to say. There are definitely issues, but it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I just feel like it delved into topics that I haven't really seen in other movies, and the way that the story was told, I just loved it so much. And because of that, I'm gonna have to put it in life-changing, mind-blowing, beautiful movies. I really do understand that the ending to most people is really abrupt, but to me that's like the beauty of it all. Like, the ending was supposed to be abrupt, is my thinking. Like, it just made so much sense for the movie to end abruptly. And I also really liked how it's centered on trans identity. So it was just exploring that. But even though I'm not trans, like, I really related to that a lot. And I thought that was just so beautiful on how like universal these issues are. Not just to like LGBTQ people. And I think we just need to put that into mainstream media a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so beautiful to me. One of my favorite movies of all time. Anyway, next movie, I'm gonna rate these together because I don't find it makes sense that I rate them separately, because they were intended to be one movie. So Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, loved it so much. I love myself like a good action movie. I really do need to get around watching the movies that Quentin Tarantino based these movies on, because from what I've heard, he like basically copy pasted it. So I think I would love them a little more, but just for now, I just have to say I really liked Kill Bill. It honestly was life-changing. Even though I don't support Quentin Tarantino as a director, as a person, I really liked Kill Bill. Like, I really did. Uma Thurman is honestly to die for. So for that, I'm gonna have to put it in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies, because it is a classic for a reason. Next movie I watched is Birdman. I loved this. I do wish I was a little less tired for this movie and more conscious, because I watched this at like 2 a.m. in the morning, I think. I think I would have liked a little bit more if I was a little more conscious, but I love the themes of it all. It was like a one-take movie, so I think that was really beautiful on how much story was able to be told in just doing that in one cut. I just think it's so beautiful on how much was done from a storytelling perspective. And although I love movies where they have beautiful time cuts and everything, it's just really nice to see, and so like beautiful to see a movie that has no time cuts, just no cuts at all, one take, and has so much to say and delivers the same amount of emotions and performance. I do think this is a movie I need to rewatch, but from memory, I really liked it. I'm gonna honestly just put this in really like objectively great movies, I think. Next movie, 12 Angry Men. I don't know why, but I'm really biased against black and white movies. I stay away from them. I don't know, something about them just screams boring. They've never really called out to me. I love a good movie with good color grading, so maybe that's why. I was a little hesitant about this movie because I thought it was gonna be a little boring, but it's actually a really like thrilling, like dramatic, really interesting movie. And the themes of personal prejudice were just so beautifully delivered. 12 Angry Men is really a classic for a reason. I don't have any criticism against it. It's good for what it is, and I really liked it. So I think I'm gonna put this in Would Watch Again Classics. Literally loved, because I did really like it. Next movie is Queer. I had no expectations going into this movie, and I really had left no difference coming out of the movie. It was a little slow. I did enjoy the cinematography at parts. Just, it was really visually beautiful, and you know I'm a sucker for visually beautiful movies. Like, you guys just know. It was a little bit strange. No, it was very strange. It was very confusing and honestly a little bit hard to follow in my opinion. It seems a little random, and I just kind of left feeling a little confused of it all. So maybe I do need to rewatch it. I'm gonna have to put it in not for me, because I don't know, it didn't do it for me. Next movie, Past Lives. I've been meaning to watch this for so long, and I'm glad I did. I love myself a good bittersweet romance story, and this is just exactly that. I got a lot of like TikTok edits of it afterwards on my For You page. And for some reason, I don't know why, but the TikTok edits always just make the movie like 10 times better than it was. So even though to me, like leaving the movie after watching it, I was like, yeah, this is a good movie. Like watching the TikTok edits really like pushed it into my mind. Like, wow, this was a really good movie. So shout out to all the TikTok editors out there. I'm gonna put this in really liked objectively great movies. I think it's just because I've watched like other movies in the same genre, like bittersweet romance, that I liked a little more. But I really liked it. I think it's great. If you love bittersweet romance movies, this is like the movie for you. Next movie, Moonrise Kingdom, my first Wes Anderson movie, and I was not, actually no, Fantastic Mr. Fox was, but my second one then. I wasn't disappointed by this. I really, really loved it. It follows the love story of two young children. I loved it so much. Just the whole vibes of it all was just beautiful. Obviously, Wes Anderson movies are always just so visually stunning. He has his own aesthetic going on, and I love that. I'm gonna put it in Would Watch Again Classics. Literally loved, I think. But I'm a cheerleader. The whole aesthetic of this movie is just beautiful. The whole American retro high school nostalgic vibes was really apparent in this movie. It's a very light-hearted comedy on sexual orientation, LGBTQ, gender identity. And I loved it. This is just such a beautiful, funny, queer movie. I'm gonna have to put this in Would Watch Again. Literally loved classics. Next movie I watched is Flow. I watched this in cinemas, and I'm really glad I did, because it's a movie that you need like 100% of your attention on, because there is no like dialogue in it. There's no speaking in it. There's a lot of animal sounds. And yeah, that's it. It's a lot of ambient sounds. There's no talking at all throughout the whole movie. And I was scared it was going to be boring, but I loved this movie so much. Basically, it follows the story of a cat and other animals that live in a post-apocalyptic world. And this world is flooding, so they're kind of on a boat, just moving around, surviving. It was so suspenseful at times. I was so worried for my little main character cat. And I loved it because it was just so beautiful. Somewhat spiritual, actually, very surprisingly, a little bit spiritual. And just so touching. And it did this all with no dialogue whatsoever. So I thought that was just so beautiful. Also, can I say, the director and his whole team made this in Blender. They used DaVinci Resolve. So they made this movie absolutely for free. And it's so beautiful. I think it ended up winning an Oscar. So cute. I loved it so much. This is gonna have to go in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies. If you have to watch this at home, I really recommend watching it like when you're fully attentive, when you're fully conscious, might I say. And yeah, when it's like really quiet, so you can really take in all the sounds, because I love the soundtrack in this movie so much. Last movie of March, one of my top 4 movies, might I say, and my first introduction to Park Chan-wook, one of my favorite directors. If you know me in real life, you know I love this dude. This is the only director I'm like, holy guacamole, bro, I love you. Like, tattoo your signature on me. Probably don't do that, Probably don't do that actually. But I love this dude so much. Anyway, I watched Oldboy. The soundtrack, 10 out of 10. I have no complaints. Can I just say, Park Chan-wook, he always does like the absolute most in all his, well, I can't say all because I haven't watched all his movies, but all the movies I've watched, he just does the most in everything, and it works out so beautifully, like 96% of the times. And in Oldboy, it does. It works beautifully, 100%. It's so disturbing. It's such a really, the plot twist in this movie, kind of expected, but you're still kind of like shocked on it. It's just such a classic. I think if you love action movies, you love suspense, you love like what the fuck kind of movies, this one's up your alley. Go watch it out. I'm gonna put this in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies. Okay, moving on to April. Finally, we have not a very big month for movies. Project Crowley horror short film. This I can explain. It was a 2-minute short YouTube video made by a bunch of teenagers I saw on TikTok. Comedic, yes. Good, objectively no, but are we surprised? Not really. Starting with her, I did kind of have high expectations going into it because all the like film buffs, bros, are always hyping this up, and I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype. I loved the storyline of it. It was beautiful, it was. But it was also a little bit overhyped. So I'm gonna put it in really liked, objectively great movies. I would not watch it again just because it's not very thrilling to me. The whole premise was interesting, but I'm not like especially like sucked into the whole idea of it all. It's hard to explain. It just really didn't hit home to me. The Wild Robot, I really love this movie. I find it really annoying that a lot of animations now are really like overstimulating. And I hate that. But The Wild Robot is just such a touching, emotional animation. Like it really hits home for me. Like I felt nostalgic watching it. It's about a intelligent robot that crashes onto an island, and he starts basically like living with animals, and he takes in a baby goose after killing his mother, basically. As you can tell, it's gonna be a sad movie. It was very emotional in the best way possible. Happy ending, of course. It's a kid's movie, guys. Come on. But I'm gonna actually have to put this in would watch again classics, literally loved, because I did really love it. Moving into May, Handmaiden, my second introduction into Park Chan-wook. I loved it so much. It is so freaky in the best way possible. Like I said, obviously Park Chan-wook movies are always just really like, whoa, what the hell? Plot twist after plot twist. And it is just such a beautiful movie. Everyone was just so amazing. It is a queer movie. It's not fetishized in any way whatsoever, which I feel like is a lot of the issues I have with homosexual movies, where like the romance kind of feels very artificial. But I didn't feel that in The Handmaiden, and I loved that for it. Might I say, this is the freakiest movie I've probably ever watched, like ever, and I was really surprised by it. Be careful when you're watching this and who you're watching this around if that's a little awkward. But yeah, just be warned, like the camera never pans away. You see everything. And yes, they do scissor. I'll be surprised. It's a lesbian love story. I love that movie. I'm gonna put it in would watch again, classics. Memoir of a Murderer, funny story. I was supposed to watch Memories of a Murder, and I accidentally watched Memoir of a Murderer. I'm not disappointed. It was a great movie still. Also Korean movie, which you see where the confusion came from within me. It was a very thrilling movie. The Koreans are just really good at their thrillers. Like that is where they really like peak. So I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies. Next movie, Memories of Murder. The whole storyline is nothing crazy. There's a murder going on. A few detectives are trying to solve it. But just all the character building is just so beautiful. Cinematography, beautiful. I'm gonna have to put this in would watch again classics, literally loved. Next movie is Ugly Stepsisters. I love a good fairy tale kind of rendition though, so I do have to say I'm a little biased towards this movie. It was so beautiful in the retelling. Nothing like extraordinary, I would say, or out of the picture, but the whole mood of the storytelling was done just so perfectly. Obviously, still a exploration of the beauty standards, as every like kind of Cinderella rendition Ugly Stepsister story is, but it was just done with so many symbolism and motifs that I found really beautiful. And the whole movie is just really visually stunning, kind of a little bit gross, actually really gross, I would say. So if you don't like maggots, kind of rotting visuals, maybe this movie isn't for you. But if you like that, you love like a little bit of a horror aspect in it all, I think you'll really like this movie. I loved it a lot, actually. It was so mystical and beautiful. I'm gonna have to put this in Would Watch Again, literally love classics, because I loved it. Next movie, I was a little disappointed, but I'm not too surprised. I saw this on TikTok a lot, and a lot of people were saying it was just so amazing. I was sorely disappointed in it. I should have trusted the letterboxd reviews. Bodies, 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 not for me. It was comedic, yes, but not comedic enough for me. I'm gonna have to put this in not for me, dot, 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 because I just don't know the whole premise of it all. I was just like, this is like really stupid. And not even like in a good way. Like, this is just like stupid and like everyone's just really annoying me. So, yeah, that's that. Next movie, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. This is a very mentally disturbing movie. It's very, very graphic. It explores revenge in different perspectives. So it's not a feel-good revenge movie. It's kind of a movie that explores like the nuance of revenge and like how horribly wrong things can go in like people's lives. And you just feel bad for everyone because no one's a good person and no one's a bad person. And so you kind of just really see that capitalism is the root of all evil once again, but are we surprised? No, we're not. What made me love the movie so much is that there's one particular scene that Park Chan-wook does so well in building the suspense without like very much dialogue or very much like camera work even, but just the sound design is just so beautiful, just so perfect in it all, and you just like feel this sense of like dread, and I felt it so deeply in my soul, and it's so beautiful to me that a movie can do that. So for that, genuinely just that one scene I'm thinking of in my brain right now, I'm gonna have to put that in Would Watch Again classics, literally loved, and like on the higher tier of that as well, maybe even like touching, mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies. Next movie, The Pianist. I can't even complain. Like, this is honestly a really good movie. I love the storyline of it all. It was very beautifully done. And I think it was a really great historical movie. But I just really hate Adrian Brody so much. So it does have a very low letterbox score for me. That's a big reason why I didn't watch The Brutalist, even though I've heard it's really good. And I'm fine with that because I don't want to see Adrian Brody again. I really don't. So for that, I'm gonna have to put this in like the lower end of really liked objectively great movies because I really like the storyline, but I just didn't like Adrian Brody. I hate him actually. Next movie, Amelie. Love the soundtrack. The whole movie didn't really resonate with me, but yeah, I think it was a great movie, but I found it a little bit boring. So for that, I'm gonna put it in not for me, I think. Next movie I watched is The Social Network, which I do have to say it was very entertaining. I did love the dialogue in this movie a lot, but I found it kind of like mediocre. Like nothing like outstanding or extraordinary. Acting was really great in this. I really liked that. I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies. Next movie, West Side Story. It's obviously about the musical West Side Story. I don't know if I loved it. It was kind of like meh. I'm gonna put this in meh. Could have been better, I think. It didn't wow me. I love the soundtrack of it, but yeah. Bend It Like Beckham, it was good for what it was, but just not up my alley, I think. I just think I wasn't in the mood for kind of that type of movie, if it makes sense. It didn't resonate with me, it didn't stick with me. And in fact, I was kind of let down because I've heard like a lot of people liking this movie, saying it's kind of like a classic, and I do understand where they're coming from because it probably is just nostalgia, and I didn't get that sense of nostalgia with this movie. Seven, I think it was a very visually beautiful story. I think it was really good for what it was. Acting was amazing. I love a good action movie, a good thriller suspense movie, up my alley. But it didn't just really stick with me. So for that, I'm gonna put it in, I think I'm gonna put it in Would Watch Again Classics Literally Loved because it's just a classic. Next movie, Fight Club. I think I would have enjoyed it more if the whole fandom behind it wasn't masculine guys that are like fighting, black pill Loki, that kind of scene. It was very visually beautiful. I think I need to rewatch it actually. There was a lot of bias coming from me going into this movie, kind of being like, oh, I don't like this movie because all these like toxic masculine guys use this movie kind of as like a rhetoric to promote whatever they're promoting, like toxic masculinity. And it just really annoyed me. It just really did. Like technical wise, it was a really good movie. I love movies that just do the absolute most, like technicality wise, and it's just so beautiful. The plot twist is just amazing in this. I watched better movies. I think it's going in really like objectively great movies. Okay, we had a little bit of a slight inconvenience. My camera did overheat, so if you can't tell, it's been a while since. I am adamant on finishing this video today, so here we are. Continuing, June, we have Perks of Being a Wallflower, Beauty and the Beast 1978, Beauty and the Beast 2014, and Song of the Sea. I was a little bit disappointed in Perks of Being a Wallflower just because I heard so many good reviews and I just saw so much hype on TikTok going into it. So I really thought it was gonna blow my mind out of the waters, a life-changing kind of movie. But it was just kind of like a mediocre coming of age movie. And honestly, I found it a little bit weird even at some points, especially with the romance aspect of it all. Perks of Being a Wallflower kind of fits into this niche where it's like early 2000s coming of age movies that are kind of mediocre, and they all have the same like color grading and the same storytelling voice. I feel like that's the only way I know how to explain this movie. I honestly just don't get the hype around it. I'm gonna put it in meh, could have been better. I was a little disappointed. Next movie, Beauty and the Beast 1978 version. I just loved how beautiful this movie visually was. So aesthetic. It was a little bit hard to follow the storyline. Obviously, it's Beauty and the Beast, nothing different about it. But just this version was a little more chaotic. It was more mystical, magical, and it's just such a visually beautiful movie. If you love aesthetic movies, this is gonna be up your alley. I'm gonna put it in really liked objectively great movies. It's not a super stimulating movie, but I was just really going through a Beauty and the Beast phase, and this just did it for me. Next movie, Beauty and the Beast 2014. The CGI in this is really good. I didn't like how they add like the little like weird creatures. That was a little bit strange to me. I like the creativity they took in this variation to try to make it a little more like spiced up. It worked, but it was just doing too much a little for me. It just came out mediocre, I guess. The actor that plays Belle though, she is just absolutely stunning. Can I just say, she is like gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then the Beast is played by like Vincent, what's his last name? I just know Vincent Cassel. I don't know why, but this is like a universal thing in all Beauty and the Beast movies. The prince is always hotter in beast form than in like human prince form. And like not even in a like bestiality way. It's just like objectively, he looks better as a beast. And I don't understand that because the prince is supposed to be like so handsome to the point where he's like egotistical about it, and so that's why he gets turned into the beast. So it just doesn't add up to me when he's ugly, but I guess it kind of does because men are just a little delusional. Maybe I don't really understand why the prince is just not as handsome as he should be, because it's really not that hard to cast an actor that looks handsome, in my opinion. But yeah, I think Vincent Cassel as the Beast just ruined it for me. So I'm gonna put this in Met could have been better. Just because I think I really just didn't like the casting for the Beast. Vincent Cassel, you're not fit for this role aesthetically. Visually, it disturbed me a little too much to put this higher up on the tiers. Sorry about that. Next movie, we have Song of the Sea. I really love this movie. I love, 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 love. I love 2D drawn movies. It's just so beautiful. And I was really going through like a fairy tale moment in my life in June 2025. This is based off like silken folklore, I think, and it is just so adorable. The soundtrack is really beautiful. It is just so visually stunning as well. The details in the animation, oh my goodness, I could watch it again and again. I'm gonna put this in really liked objectively great movies. Next is July. We watched a lot of movies. Let's start off with Notting Hill. Obviously, just a classic rom com. I have nothing more to say. Casting was great. I think everyone did really well in this movie. I'm not disappointed, but I'm not wowed. I came in with expectations and they were met, like for sure. I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies. Down with Love. I loved this rom com. It's just so vibey. The whole mood of it all was perfectly set in 1962, I think. I'm gonna put this in really liked objectively great movies as well. Next movie is I Origins. Okay, this one I was disappointed in. Can I just say that? I saw this on TikTok as well. And from what I'm gathering right now, I just need to stop trusting TikTok so much. But I just had so much expectations coming to this movie because everyone was making it seem like it was like a spiritual awakening type movie. Super, super astounding, emotional, super deep, super like mind blowing, life changing. But I came in with these expectations and I was left so disappointed because it was not that. And honestly, I found it a little bit like weird. Like the main character was low-key like, I don't know, he's just a strange lad, is all I can say. He was kind of like predatory. He just icked me out so badly. So for that, I'm gonna put it in not for me. I didn't like that much. It wasn't as spiritual and mind blowing as everyone made it out to be. I just found it weird. Next movie, Thelma. I loved this movie. It's really cute. It's a comedy about an old woman who gets scammed, and it was very emotional actually. It was very cute. I love the color grading. I love the comedy in it. I'm gonna put this in my third tier. Really liked objectively great movies. Next movie, Flipped. I've been meaning to watch this movie for so long and I'm not disappointed. It was really cute. I like the storytelling aspect where it kind of switched between the point of view of the boy and the girl. And I just found it had the tone of like the 13-year-old teenage down pat so well. So for that, I'm gonna put it in really like objectively great movie. I think the hype is worth it. And yeah. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I'm not a big Conjuring like fan. The Conjuring to me is like a series that isn't good as a horror movie, but rather like a romance. It was very romantic, like surprisingly. The Conjuring is not a very good horror movie blockbuster. It's just really gone downhill in the horror sense since the first movie, I think. And I think I was really expecting a good scare out of this one, so I was a little bit disappointed in that. I'm gonna have to put it in meh, could have been better, just because I really wanted a good horror movie at that time, and it didn't deliver just that. I was disappointed, really. It's a great romance, though. I do recommend it if you're looking for a cute romance with a little bit of horror on the side. So yeah, Look Back is a anime. It's so cute. I love the art so much. I don't really remember like the whole depth of the storyline, but I do remember it briefly. I rated it like pretty average. So I'm just gonna say really liked objectively great movie. Like I don't really have any complaints. I think I enjoyed it. But yeah. Bring Her Back, I was really disappointed. I watched the director's debut talk to me and I loved it so much. So I did have high expectations going into Bring Her Back. It was just really gory and disturbing and not even in like a good sense. It was just like too much of it. Like there is a limit and it surpassed that limit by like an exceeding amount. The horror, I liked the storyline, but it just didn't leave the suspense kind of like lingering horror that I liked it to leave. I feel like there was just so much they could have done with the storyline. It felt kind of like empty. I love the whole premise of it all, but yeah, the exploration of the storyline just didn't do it for me. They just had too many gory bits and it just felt like gross, you know? I'm gonna put it in meh, could have been better because I was expecting it to be a lot better than that, so yeah. Midnight in Paris, God, I freaking hated this movie so much. First Woody Allen movie, I'm never watching Woody Allen again. I don't even know where to even start with this one. It's just so annoying. I don't know how it has such a high star rating. 3.7 is too high for this movie because it's so shit. Anyway, the whole premise of this movie is this guy who's about to get engaged to stunning woman, by the way. Stunning Rachel Adams. And this guy is sad because, he needs to go out and he's a writer, so he needs creativity. And she's just like, she just wants to like plan their wedding and everything. Like, God forbid a girl want to plan her own wedding, and God forbid she like hopes her husband wants to plan her own wedding with her. But no, this guy, like, he's in Paris, so he's trying to get creative. He wants to write. And at midnight, for some reason, he magically gets transported to the 1920s and he meets this girl and he basically cheats on Rachel McAdams. He cheats on her. This beautiful, stunning fiancée that he's about to get married to. He cheats on her. But, like, no, it's fine because he's just a creative writer. And it's like, it's fine because he's traveling back in time and it's all magical. And she's just a stuck-up bitch who wants to plan her own wedding. So everything is fine. But freaking hate it. And the worst part, Adrian Brody appears in the middle of nowhere. Freaking, that was my last straw for me, guys. Can I just say also, the first, 10 minutes of the movie is just stock picture montages of Paris with royalty-free YouTube 12-hour ambience music. It was like, babes, come on, let's do better. I'm gonna put this in a tier below. Not for me, ... This isn't trashy movies. And hate Woody Allen, by the way. Horrible guy. I'm not gonna watch any of his other movies because it's very telling from Midnight in Paris that all his other movies are gonna be shit. Sorry guys, I just really had to get that out of me. I didn't know I had that much hatred for Midnight in Paris. But anyway, next movie, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I've been seeing this. I loved the whole coloring of it all. It's very hilarious. It's a great movie, I think. It didn't really leave a huge impact on me. I'm gonna put this in really objectively great movies. I love Ben Stiller, by the way, and I think Severance, which is one of my favorite TV shows, really got me into him. So yeah, that's the reason why I watched Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and I loved it. Ponyo, I love this Studio Ghibli movie. I don't know why, but a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies that I've watched, I found a little bit understimulating, but I love the storyline of this movie. It was just so cute. I'm gonna put this in really liked, objectively good movies. Next movie, Cold War. This movie I did watch a little bit late in the night, but from what I remember, I really liked the cinematography of it. The ending was just so beautiful, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue, but that was the beauty of it all because it's very show not tell kind of vibes. I'm gonna put this in really liked, objectively great movies. This isn't a movie, it's a K-drama, but I'm going to count it as a movie anyway because this is the only K-drama I watched in 2025 in full. But When Life Gives You Tangerines is just such a beautiful, emotional K-drama, and it just has so much layers to the story. It's just so much more than just a romance K-drama. It talks about loss, it's about femininity, it's about perseverance, just everything you can think of, and just the struggles of a Korean girl in, the olden days. And I really wish I could tell you when, but I don't really know the time period that well. Anyway, it was a little confusing how IU played her younger mom self, but also the mom's daughter when she's older. That kind of confused me a little bit. I really loved it. I'm gonna put this in, honestly, would watch again classics. I really loved it. It's just so good. If you love bittersweet romances, this is for you, girl. This is for you. And it's just so much more than the romance as well. I just think there's just so much nuance in it. Next movie, Robot Dreams. I had so much expectations going into this, and I just found it a little bit of a snooze fest. The whole animation was not my favorite. I don't know, the style was just not for me. And usually I'm a sucker for 2D animations. I usually am. I liked the soundtrack of it. I think it's a silent movie, so there was no like dialogue, but there was like diegetic sound. It was a bittersweet ending, and because of that, I thought I would really like it. But it just didn't hit, and I'm not even really sure why. Like, I wished I liked it more, but I found it a little bit slow. I'm gonna put this in meh, could have been better, because I had high hopes for it. Next movie, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I love this animation so much. Just something about the style is just so creative, and I love that. No words. Storyline, obviously good. It's a kids' animation show, and it was actually really interesting, and I found it really entertaining. I'm gonna put it in really liked objectively great movies, actually. Next movie, Suzume. I don't really remember much about this one, but I just remember like being like, it was alright, I guess. Like, I got what I wanted from it, but like, I watch better movies, so I'm gonna put this in meh, could have been better, I think. The Holiday, it did what it did. A really cute rom-com Christmas movie. I thought it would be a little better, but yeah, it's kind of on the lower tier of early 2000s rom-coms. I'm gonna put it in that could have been better. I need to go in with lower expectations if I'm getting a movie from TikTok. I think this is the lesson I'm learning. Next movie, Before Sunrise, and I'm really sad to say this, guys. If you're a movie lover, you're gonna like, you might choke me, but I didn't really like this as much. I think part of it is because I went into it thinking I was gonna get like an early 20s really cute rom-com, maybe even like a little bit of a bittersweet romance movie, but the whole movie is just dialogue. And I love movies that do that, I really do, but it just wasn't what I was looking for when I was wanting to watch this movie. So I think that was part of it. I think I saw a letterboxd review that really summed up what I was thinking. Yes, okay, this review. I'm just gonna quote it because it just describes perfectly what I felt like. And yeah, the review goes by Cinephile16. I'm a person who enjoys philosophical conversation, but this was so unrealistic, pretentious, and cliche I couldn't stand it. I felt that way too. Maybe also because the philosophical topics they chose were so boring. Don't know about that. I found it way too contrived and unrealistic. It's like Linklater was walking around Vienna all alone, fantasizing about the perfect woman and conversation, and that's how he wrote this. My view of canned romance is obviously unpopular and tells me I'm on the right track. I felt that way too. It felt just a little bit fetishized, kind of like someone's erotic fantasy, might I say. And notice how this is always an issue with male directors. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in meh. Actually, I'm gonna put it in not for me. I think that just whole series is not for me. Next movie, He Slid Into Her DMs. I watched this in class with my friends. It was a really good laugh. I low-key found it really thrilling, actually. But yeah, I think you can tell by the title, it wasn't a very good movie. I'm gonna actually put it in meh, could have been better, because I do think there was potential for the storyline. And yeah, that's it. The Holdovers, one of my favorite watches, I think. The mood, just immaculate. I wish I watched this around Christmas time because it would have made it 10 times better, but I loved everyone's acting in this. The whole mood, the whole vibe of it all, it was just beautiful. The soundtrack was really beautiful. I'm gonna put this in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies because it's just an immaculate movie. Next movie, Ghost Light. I think it's a beautiful take on toxic masculinity and loss and grief. I'm gonna put this in would watch again, classics. I loved the symbolism of Juliet and Romeo in this movie. I think that was really, really interesting and really smart. Next movie is The Notebook, and I was really sorely disappointed by this movie. I thought it was gonna be a cute romance movie. It was not. Why is this movie so overhyped? And once again, I'm left disappointed by TikTok because not only did I leave kind of disappointed, but I left kind of grossed out because the whole premise of this movie is that this guy cheats on his girlfriend and this girl cheats on her perfect fiance because they wanted to get together and they're kind of toxic exes. And yes, it works out happy for them in the end, but still, I don't know. Like, it's just the whole premise kind of irks me out. So I'm gonna put this in. Honestly, like, I was really disappointed by it. So I'm gonna say not for me. I just didn't enjoy the whole premise of them being cheaters. Trainspotting, I heard was a classic. I like the cinematography in this. Kind of grossed out by the starting scene, the toilet scene, if you know what I mean, kind of scarred me a little bit. I just think it wasn't for me. I think it's a great movie, and I do understand that. But yeah, not for me, and not especially what I was looking for at the time I was watching this movie, I think. So I think that just made it worse. Next movie, Nightcrawler. I really liked this movie. It was an entertaining watch, and it was very thrilling. The acting was really great. I love Jake Gilliard. Is that how you say his name? In action movies or like thriller suspense movies. I feel like he just suits the role very well. I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies. It was beautifully shot and the storytelling was amazing. Next movie, Zombieland. Honestly, really hilarious. It is a great movie for what it is. I'm actually gonna put this in really like objectively good movie. Like, obviously, this is the type of movie that it wasn't out to like win an Oscar, but it was just really objectively like funny. It was so hilarious. Next movie I watched, well, rewatch, was a series actually, Over the Garden Wall. One of my all-time favorite 2D animations. Soundtrack amazing. It's so adorable. Like I said, I love a retelling of fairy tales, and there's just so many Easter eggs in this. It's a very mystical, magical, but ever so like deep type of movie with so many themes that are explored that could be like delved into in more deeper aspects, and not just a kids TV show, which is so beautiful to me. I'm gonna put this in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies because it did change my life. It changed me on like molecular level, I think. Everyone needs to watch this movie. Last movie of July is Decision to Leave. I was really disappointed by this one. Park Chan-wook, I had high hopes for you, but I don't even really remember this movie. I just kind of like clocked out, I think. Park Chan-wook's movie endings are always just so good, but the phone call sequences just felt very cringy and very artificial to me. I didn't like that. It didn't feel very real and raw. And because of that, I'm gonna have to put it in Met Could Have Been Better because I had high hopes, and yeah. Moving on to August, we have Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, In the Mood for Love, Blue Velvet, A Real Pain. Actually, I'm gonna take out 3 movies that I watched here because I was so unconscious while watching them. I can't even really leave a real review, so yeah, cross that out. Annihilation, I Saw the TV Glow, The Shining, Get Out, Mona Lisa Smiles, The Shawshank Redemption, Drop Dead Gorgeous, My Life as a Zucchini, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Pearl, Paris, Texas. I watched Kill Bill Volume 1 again, but we've already rated that, and No Other Land. Let's quickly go through this. Batman Begins. Great movie, entertaining, whatever. I guess really like objectively great movie. Dark Knight, a little worse than Batman Begins in my opinion, but still pretty good. If you're looking for a good superhero movie, I guess I would say that's that. In the Mood for Love, so visually stunning. I love the soundtrack, and I'm not disappointed. It's a little bit slow, so if you like entertaining movies, you're not gonna get that in this one, but it's just so beautiful, I think, and I'm gonna put this in a classic. Blue Velvet, I really appreciate what he did here. David Lynch, I get what he tried to do and I understand it, but that doesn't mean I liked it. It was a little bit kinky for me. It was a little bit strange, which David Lynch always does that. Just a little bit too strange for me. But yeah, it was just a little too strange for me. So I think I'm going to put it in not for me. I watched Annihilation. I read the book by Jeff Vandermeer or something like that. The book, amazing. I love the set design of this movie and how they brought like the book visually to life. I think it is so true to the description of the book, and it's just so crazy on how accurate like the picture in my mind is to the actual movie, and I feel like that's just so talented. It is a little bit confusing, and if you haven't read the book, I think this movie is just kind of like, what the fuck is even happening? But I think visually Garland just emulated the book setting so well. I loved that. If I hadn't read the book prior to reading the movie though, I would have found it so confusing and I would have been so lost. And I'm glad I read the book first because I feel like it just added on to my love for the book because I really liked that book. So I'm gonna put this in meh, could have been better because I do think the storytelling is a little bit clunky, but I really liked it as well. Oh, this is hard. No, I'm gonna put it in Met could have been better because I just love the book so much. Like the movie couldn't have topped that. I saw the TV Glow. I've already rated that. Moving on. I watched The Shining. Loved that movie. It's such a classic horror movie and it's so worth the hype. It's less of a horror but more of a suspense kind of thriller type movie. I'm gonna put that in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies because it's a classic and it lived up to the hype. Get Out. Beautiful movie visually. Plot twist is not as unexpected, but it did so well with the symbolism. I love the storytelling. I love the themes in it. I just think it's a great movie overall. I have no complaints. I'm going to put this in Would Watch Again Classics. Literally loved. Next movie, Mona Lisa Smiles. I love this movie so much. Like I said, I love watching female-centered movies. And this movie is just that. It's about a teacher who basically is very feminist. She doesn't get married. She doesn't have a boyfriend. And during like the 1950s, this is very looked down upon. Of course, like women should get married, women need to be wives, like blah, 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 blah. She gets hired at this prestigious all-female college and kind of convinces all the students there to really be ambitious in their career. And I just thought it was just such a beautiful story and I loved it so much. I'm gonna have to put this in Would Watch Again Classics. Literally loved. It's a great movie. It was also like slightly queer and I loved how anti-man it was. Next movie, Shawshank Redemption. Really, again, a classic. I was a little bit let down because I thought more would happen, but it's a good movie. I'm gonna put this in, I think, objectively good movies. Next movie, Drop Dead Gorgeous. This is comedic. I watched this for Brittany Murphy, and I'm not disappointed. I was kind of surprised by the cast. It was kind of like decked out. Really hilarious. Mostly female cast. And honestly, I thought this was written by a woman, is how great this was. I'm gonna put this in really liked objectively good movies. Next movie, My Life as a Zucchini. This is so adorable. It's a clay animation stop motion kind of movie. And the whole aesthetic of it all, the whole story, it follows a kid who's an orphan and he gets like adopted basically. It's just a story in the orphan and him like finding his family and his own clan basically. But yeah, it's a beautiful story on friendship and family and love. I'm gonna put this in Would Watch Again Classics. Literally loved. I loved it so much. Next movie, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This is such a well-written movie. The dialogue is so true. It feels so real. Like Marcel like feels like a child with such an innocent view of the world. And I find that so beautiful that the director was able to capture that all. I think it's just so adorable. It was very wholesome and yeah, and I really like the style of film. It's like a fictional documentary style. Hard to explain, but I've never watched a movie like that before. I'm gonna actually like put this in life-changing movies, mind-blowingly life-changing movies, because it really was life-changing to me. Next movie, Pearl. I really liked it. I watched it the first time. I didn't really like it that much. I liked it more the second time around, but I'm gonna put this in objectively good movies. Paris, Texas. I don't remember why exactly, but I just didn't love this movie. I thought a few aspects were weird. I don't remember what exactly I thought was weird about it. I just remember thinking it was a little weird. Yeah, I liked the aesthetics. I don't know what else to say. I think I just thought it was gonna be better. I'm gonna put this in not for me because I didn't really love it. Although I do understand a lot of people did like it because it has a very high letterboxd rating. Next, last movie, No Other Land. Oh, this is a documentary actually about Palestine and about a town in West Bank, Masfiyata, and kind of the destruction of the whole town after being captured by Israeli soldiers. I think it was very beautiful that this whole story was catapulted into the main media. I just don't think this was like the most beautifully made documentary ever. It's not the best documentary I've seen. I liked the importance of it and how like relevant it was and made in mainstream media. So I'm glad I did watch it. There were a lot of quotable moments. I just think the whole storytelling of the documentary was clanky. So I'm gonna put it in meh, could have been better. I think they did deserve the Oscar though. We're nearly there, guys. I watched Conjuring the Last Rites, Boys in the Boat, When Harry Met Sally. I rewatched 2 movies, but I won't mention that. Conjuring the Last Rites, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really romantic. And the cinematography was just so beautiful. I was very, very shocked and impressed. So I'm going to put this in objectively good. I think people need to reframe their whole mindset on how Conjuring movies are seen, because it really is just a romance series with a side of horror. And if I came into this movie with a mindset of this is going to be the best horror movie ever, I think, yes, I would be sorely disappointed. But if I reframe that and I think, wow, this is going to be a romance movie, I think it delivers just that. Next movie, this is a rewatch from this year. I watched it for the first time in 2024, I think. But yes, Callum Turner is in this movie. If you don't know, I'm a sucker for Callum Turner. Love him. This isn't like technically the best movie out there. I'm watching it for a different type of plot and it did not disappoint. So I'm gonna put it in objectively good movies. Next movie, When Harry Met Sally, one of my favorite rom-coms ever. There are a few moments where I was just kind of annoyed. The first time I watched it, I think I only watched it halfway and I thought like, man, this is kind of boring. But I watched it again fully and I was like, wow, this is just beautiful. I'm gonna put it in really like objectively great movies. I think that fits perfectly there. In October, I watched Freaky Friday, which I was a little bit disappointed in. I don't know why, but I was just a little disappointed. It's not an amazing movie. I think I gave it a 2.5, which is kind of in the middle. It's mediocre. Next movie I watched was Practical Magic. I really liked the whole idea of this movie. I watched it on Halloween as well, so I was just really in the full mood of it all. It was just very cliche in like the best way possible. I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies. That's it for October. Let's move into November, which yes, I watched quite a few movies. I rewatched Phantom of the Thread. I didn't really love it the first time around just because I don't think I really took in the beauty of everything that was included in the movie. There were just so many small details that were just so beautiful, and it is a very slow movie, so I think if you're looking for a more stimulating movie, don't watch this. But it's also just very visually stunning. I think it's such a great depiction of age gap romance and just really showing all the nuance like issues in it, and it did it so beautifully. So I'm gonna put this in honestly would watch again classics. Literally loved, I think. Fits there. Next movie I watched, I don't really have big of a reason of why I watched it, but someone I know actually plays a little background character in that, so it was really fun trying to find them in the background. Obviously, it's a kids movie, so nothing crazy. It wasn't the best movie out there, but I did enjoy like the wholesomeness of it all. But yeah, I saw someone I knew in it and I thought that was really, really funny. And it was very comedic actually. Do I recommend it? Not really, I don't. Next movie, I rewatched Matrix and I love this movie. It's just such a classic action movie and it's so beautiful, so ahead of the time for what it did, and the themes explored are just so relevant, and it's just such a timeless movie, I think, and it's so beautiful that the directors were able to do that. Matrix Reloaded, also another beautiful story. I think it's such a good sequel to The Matrix. Absolutely beautiful. Both are going in mind-blowingly life-changing movies because they both changed my life, honestly. I've watched them like 10 times maybe, and every single time I'm still like, wow, this is a beautiful movie. Next movie I watched is Die My Love. I watched this in cinemas and I'm really glad I did. You just need to see how beautiful it is. I'm gonna insert some scenes in here. This movie itched a scratch that I had in me for beautiful movies. I love the acting. Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, they are just amazing actors and it really shows in here. It really explores, I think, a topic a lot of mainstream movies don't, and I was really surprised because I feel like the marketing of this movie was a little bit misleading. I think that's why the rating on Letterboxd is so low. It's a little bit slow and not very stimulating. Some parts I still don't really understand fully. I'm gonna have to put this in would watch again because I think I do really need to watch it again to really understand it all. I watched Frankenstein, which I really loved. I love the storytelling. The whole historical world building was just really beautiful. And for what it was, I really liked it. So I'm going to put it in, I'm going to put it in really like objectively great movies, I think. I watched Begonia as well. And holy shit, it's such a great movie. I think it's just so beautiful and I love the whole premise of it all. It's just so like whack, honestly, and in the best way possible. I'm gonna put this in would watch again classics, literally loved. The score of the movie was also just really beautiful and yeah, visually just stunning as well. History of Sound, a little bit of a snooze fest. I don't think it was marketed correctly. It is not the best homosexual romance out there. And in fact, I think they need to market this as a movie for like maybe I don't know the importance of preserving media. I think would have been a better marketing tactic for this. I think yeah, the romance in this was a little bit shallow and disappointing. I think there was just so much potential for this. The script also was just really not the best. I think it's just Paul Mescal, honestly. I really like the soundtrack for this movie. Paul Mescal, he plays himself in every movie, just like Adrian Brody. Don't want to see him anymore because he plays the same character, really. I'm going to put this in, meh, could have been better, and I wish I liked it more, and I wish the script was a little better, and I just wish the homosexual romance was a little bit less shallow. So yeah, a lot of wishes here. The Medium, I thought this was going to be a really good horror movie, and I was bored throughout the whole thing. It was just so really bad, I think. Let me read you my review. Slow, boring, and predictable. Not a single good scare. Cameramen kept spawning left and right. That's true. Just didn't make any sense, and the storyline was all over the place, and it seemed more like a zombie movie, if anything. And yeah, that is very apparent in like the last like 5 minutes of the whole movie, where it's just like cameramen spawning left and right, and everyone is just running away from like possessed people. Oops, sorry, spoiler. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in not for me. ... Next movie, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. This movie fits in the same category and niche of movies as Perks of Being Wallflowers. I don't know what it is about it, but they just give very, very similar vibes. And it's mediocre. I don't know if I love it. It's just not for me, I think. It's kind of a mediocre movie. I thought it would be better. Again, TikTok has deceived me. I'm going to put it in. Meh, could have been better, I think. It is what it is. Like, it's a mediocre movie. Next movie, Thirst by Park Chan-wook. I was disappointed. I was really in the mood for a vampire movie, and I thought Park Chan-wook would deliver. It was a very strange vampire movie. It was comedic, very like dark. Let me read you my review because it sums up what I'm feeling. This isn't my favorite Park Chan-wook movie, but his color work never fails to disappoint. The shift in story from it being a suspenseful exploration of morals and faith to dark comedy was done pretty well. There was a cohesive shift, but it was just doing too much for me and resulted in a less impactful ending. No surprise that it was extremely sexual, given it's a Park Chan-wook film as well as it being in a vampire genre. And although the sex scenes didn't feel unnecessarily excessive, many to me just didn't deliver the emotional depth it was meant to carry. So the ending, though emotional, felt bland and boring. I'm disappointed because I do see potential and I really wish I enjoyed it more. But still, I appreciate Park's style, and yeah, that was my review. The ending was very beautiful though. I'm gonna put it in, meh, could have been better. Bride for Rip Van Winkle. I liked the ending. I didn't love it as much as I thought it would. It was recommended to me by my cousin, and he said he loved it. I hated it, actually. I'm gonna put it not for me. Children of Men, I thought this was a really greatly made dystopian movie, and holy shit, it was made in 2006, but it feels so relevant to the social and political issues happening right now. Felt it was very realistic, and it's so crazy how history just really repeats itself, and it is very, very, very predictable. I'm gonna put this in objectively good movie sector. Next month, we have December, our final month. Finally, I watched Wicked for Good. I also watched Wicked, so let me just add that in real quick. I forgot to log that. Sorry Baby, Hamnet, Zootopia 2, Hunger Games Catching Fire, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, Maze Runner, Harakiri, Beanpole, Mulholland Drive, Claws, Stand By Me, and Alien. Wicked and Wicked for Good, I'm gonna just vote them as one movie, because yeah. Wicked, 1, better cinematography. Wicked for Good, worse cinematography. Wicked for Good, I like the soundtrack better than Wicked. And yeah, I watched Wicked for Good with my best friend in cinemas. So I guess that's what made me biased towards how much I like it. I'm gonna put that in, honestly, like really liked objectively great movies. And I guess I'll put Wicked in there as well. I'm not a big musical Wicked fan, but I feel like if I was, I would be a little disappointed by it because I don't know, like just some parts I was kind of like eh. But because I watched it in cinemas with my best friend, I was kind of like eh. Like, it's fine, I guess. Sorry, Baby. I thought this was a beautiful, beautiful directorial debut, and it's just such a beautiful movie. Let me read my review because, yes. There's nothing extremely special about this movie that leaves me feeling wow, but it's a movie that lingers with you. The tone shift from serious to light-hearted humor juxtaposes the heavy themes without disregarding it in such a way that the audience is able to laugh along in moments while still feeling the uncomfortableness of it all. I love movies where sadness is just prominent throughout the entire movie. The static shots and close-ups were great and didn't feel like they were just randomly put in there for pure aesthetics. The sound work was nothing special. It didn't stand out to me, but it was still very good. It's a slower kind of movie that illustrates personal pains and struggles in a delicate way, and it's really beautiful. You can feel the care the director put into the storytelling, and she is able to portray the emotions so well. And yes, I think it's a great debut piece. I'm gonna put this in would watch again classics literally loved. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put in mind-blowingly beautiful, life-changing movies because I just loved the topic of it all. Hamnet, I was a little disappointed. I loved the cinematography. I loved the sound. Actually, the soundtrack for me was just kind of mediocre, nothing crazy. I thought everyone apart from Paul Mescal did a really great job in the role, especially the kids, might I say. Jessie Buckley, she deserves an Oscar. She was just amazing in her role. Paul Mescal, I think he ruined the movie for me. I felt a little bit stupid watching this movie. I said it in my review as well because I didn't understand it all. Also, they were speaking like old English. So even though I was in cinemas watching this on like cinema level, like volume and sound, I just also still didn't hear what they said properly. Like objectively, it's a well-made movie, but it just felt like pretentious. I'm gonna put this in like probably like meh, could have been better. Next movie, Zootopia 2. I did watch this pirated. So the quality was just absolutely shitty, but it was still really good. I thought it was a really good sequel to Zootopia 1. I'm gonna put in really liked objectively great movies. I mean, I don't have any comments on Zootopia 2. It's just, it was cute. Hunger Games, obviously a classic. Really like. I'm gonna put that in would watch again classics literally loved, and Hunger Games Catching Fire, and I'm gonna also put that in would watch again classics literally loved because I have watched that multiple times again and again and I love it so much. I think it's just timeless. And Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, girl, I'm gonna have to put you in a tier lower because I just didn't love that movie as much as the previous two. Next movie, The Maze Runner. Obviously a classic. I loved it a lot. It's really a classic, but I don't know. I feel like I've just watched it too many times at this point. I'm gonna put it in really like objectively great movies because that's what it is. I watched Hirakiri and I was a little bit scared because, like I said, I don't really like black and white movies, but it's just because I find them a little boring sometimes. But I really like this actually. It had a really simple story and I thought I would be bored, but I wasn't at all. Let me read you my review of it because that sums up on how I feel about it. Honestly, a classic. I came in with no expectations really, but I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. The story is so simple yet perfectly executed from camera angles to dialogue and pacing. The build-up was just so good. And that's how I felt. I'm gonna put this in really like objectively great movies because I don't know if I would watch it again. It's just not like the type of movie I would watch again, but I think it was great. Beanpole, I'm glad I watched it because I loved the cinematography of it. I loved the color grading of it all. It was so beautifully shot and there was so many moments where I was like, wow, this is such a beautiful movie. But also it was like extremely slow. Like I felt like I was watching it for 4 whole hours and that's just what made it so hard to enjoy. It wasn't even that long. I think it was only, let me see how long it was. It was only 134 minutes, but it felt like 4 hours, like genuinely. I feel like it's the type of movies that you need to watch in cinemas to like really enjoy, and I said that in my review. I do think I might have to rewatch it, but for now, I'm gonna put it in meh, could have been better. Next movie, Mulholland Drive. I was not disappointed. I was surprised it was a gay lesbian love story, and I loved that. I loved the pacing of it all. Yeah, I loved the whole premise of it all, kind of like the time jumps on how like the blur between reality and disillusion and like fantasy, and that was just so up my alley. So I'm gonna put this in would watch again classics. Literally loved. I loved a good like Doom Yuri kind of movie, so loved that. I watched Claws. I think it was the cutest Christmas movie ever. Honestly, just so adorable. The animation is just so cute, and oh my goodness, just it's so wholesome. Like perfect for children, perfect for adults. I think you need to watch it whether you're a grandpa or a 2-year-old. Like it's just so universal. I feel like it was so beautiful because it didn't feel like extremely childish, even though it's a children's movie, I would say. And yeah, I loved it a lot. I'm gonna put it in really like objectively great movies. Next movie, Stand By Me. I love this movie so much. I loved it more than I thought I would, actually. I love the nostalgic mood of the film, how it captured like 90s America in its entirety, the whole kind of small town vibe to it all, and how perfectly it captured the essence of like childhood and like wonder of the world, innocence, friendship, like everything. The dialogue was just so beautiful, and I felt like it was written perfectly to reflect 12-year-old, also in a way that it was still able to explore like deeper troubles of navigating life without being like really pretentious. I'm gonna put this in mind-blowingly beautiful, would watch again. Finally, the last movie of our whole year, Alien, and I'm not disappointed in this at all. I loved this movie, and I don't know if alien movies are exactly the type of niche I usually watch, but I really liked it. I loved that the lead was a female. I loved that the lead was a female, and I found it so annoying that they didn't listen to Ripley from the beginning. If you know, you know. But basically, this movie is set in the far future where this whole crew like basically works for like sci-fi version of Amazon, where they deliver stuff, I guess, from outer space. So very distant in the future, kind of sci-fi. They get the signal for alien life on this planet, and they check it out. And yeah, I just love the whole premise of the movie. Great film. I'm gonna put this in would watch again classics. Literally loved. Wow, I've been talking for hours, I feel like, and I loved that so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, because I loved it. My throat is a little bit sore after talking nonstop for so long, but I'm not even mad because I talked about one of the things I loved most in this world, which is films. My goal for 2026 is to hit 200 films and log it. I don't know why 200 is my goal. I just want to watch more movies, and I felt like there were so many movies this year that I wanted to watch that I didn't get around to, and I'm really disappointed in that. But I just want to watch every movie in the world. I just think movies are so beautiful and such a beautiful form of media and art. That's all I have to say. This is the final ranking of all the movies that I watched. I loved all the movies I watched, even the bad ones. I hope this motivates you guys to get into film a little more, because I think films are just so beautiful. I'm also going to shamelessly plug in my letterboxd here, so follow me there if you want to keep updated. But good night, good day, and see you in my next video.